Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea. Welcome to a very exciting Protoss versus Terran Grand Finals of the Korean StarCraft League number 13. The bottom left spawning as our Protoss player in the red colors. It is herO. And in the top right, just a regular man. But it is a regular man who is of course the world champion, as we're talking about Oliveira. For the people who are not aware of that reference, after Oliveira won the World Championships at Intel Extreme Masters Katowice earlier this year, he made a beautiful speech about how he's just a pretty regular dude, you know, nothing special, and just with hard work, he could do it. So if he can do it, then anyone can do it. A very nice moment. As not all these players in the exact same team, of course, over here, actually met each other at that World Championships in which Oliveira ended up winning with, I want to say, a 3-1 score. Back then, a heavy focus on early 3 barracks play in combination with a factory. So barracks into factory, add 2 more barracks. A very safe approach to the matchup, kind of. As herO back then, I think, was even more aggressive than he is right now. herO, of course, always remains aggressive. It's not like he's lost that. That's in his genes. As he starts long distance mining. This is actually one of my pet peeves. I have very many pet peeves in StarCraft 2, but long distance mining from the natural is inefficient if you don't have saturation on the faraway patches. Triple saturation on faraway patches is better than long distance mining from your natural. It's just an objective fact. Like, we can argue about it. The same with this. Him rallying another worker into gas doesn't give him anything. It'd be much better to try and get that to work on one of these far away patches. Actually get you a couple more minerals. So herO played a very blind style of StarCraft here, opening up with a battery in his natural. While Oliveira just opened up with a Reaper expand. So sometimes not scouting is really nice. It allows you to get more money in the early game. But in this case, it actually forced him to build a battery that he absolutely did not need. Now, we do see a Stargate coming out here. And with a Stargate, you often end up needing a battery anyway. So if that battery doesn't really ruin your timing in any way, shape, or form, perhaps it's not the end of the world. This bad boy is now going to be here on the high ground. Oliveira really wants to see what's up here. Not bad enough, though, for that Reaper to die. The Reaper's like, nope, I'm gonna die there. Don't want it to happen. Could perhaps guess by the lack of gateways and the really fast battery that this is going to be Stargate, but that's all it's going to be in that case, right? Just a guess. Reaper once again pops in, sees no gateways, no robo. At this point, I think it's fairly clear what it actually is. If I were Oliveira, I think I would be capable of knowing. He's going to get in here as well, and it's not quite going to get the full scout, the full information, but the lack of basically everything, the fast third pylon here as well, all of these are just major tells, in my opinion. As here comes the Oracle together with 1 Adept. It's going to try and work on some of these Marines. Oracle very low, survives with 4 HP. As 2 Marines go down and an Adept falls, this was really a very positive trade here for Oliveira, who now decides to just send his 4 Marines as well as his mine across the map. These Adepts are just barely not going to spot it. And, oh, mine actually getting a kill here on the Oracle. This is very painful for our Protoss player, who's completely unaware of what's kicking off, does have 2 Phoenixes at home, and is now taking out a couple of Marines as well as some of these SCVs. Lift is just barely in time. This just looks really, really nice, honestly, for our Terran player. Is there a Warbin available? Yes, there is. It's going to be a Stalker, but this mine might actually ruin things. Oh my god, that is a big mine hit over here, as 3 Marines do get to evacuate as well. With that medevac boosting back home, Phoenixes are chasing, as this mine will get blasted by this Stalker. But the worker count is 36 to 37. And that is very favorable for the Terran player here, who is completely fine with being down 5, 6, 7 workers, which is not the case right now. Third base for herO, extremely late. herO's tech, extremely late as well. Look at this RoboBay timing. The standard these days is to start it at 4:20-ish, 4:25, 4:30 at the latest. This started at 4 minutes and 58 seconds. It is simply way too late. It's like showing up to your work at at 11 o'clock and you're supposed to show up at 9. It's not a very good look. Now, are you going to get fired immediately? Probably not, but you're going to get a pretty stern talking to, and you better don't repeat that trick again in the future. And herO is in that type of territory. He's made that mistake with, or well, the mistake. Yeah, he just lost a lot of probes, and then he has a late robo as well. These are two major errors here, and I think he's going to get punished for it. Well, he already has been punished for it. And now it's on Oliveira to capitalize on the incoming timing that he has. We have pure Marine production for now, as the first two Marauders start fairly late into the production cycles. That does mean that a Colossus could perhaps bring a little bit of relief here for herO. If the Marine count is very high and you just get a Colossus out or two Colossus out, all of a sudden these fights, they look so good for the Protoss. The higher the Marauder count, the worse it often is. But with fairly little units, you can hold against high Marine counts as long as you have a Colossus available. Oh, another Phoenix gets taken out. That's going to make number 2. And with that Oracle falling as well, with the complete lack of observers on the map, vision is, well, it's significantly reduced. It is very little what we have here vision-wise. I'm not saying this is going to be a straight-up win with the first push, but I've seen it happen before. Combat shield is done. Stim pack still 8 seconds away. +1, not quite done yet. Here come the 3 Phoenixes. We have 3 sentries with plenty of force fields available as well. As the Cyclone latches onto one of these Phoenixes once more. We do have a proxy gateway, as herO here is planning to follow this up with an all-in. He's all-inning without a prism most likely, with a high gateway count, no upgrades. In order for this to succeed, he needs to clear these drops. It is so important for him to actually clear the drops. Look how blind herO is doing this. If you didn't know that this was herO, you'd think he's a hacker, right? It's like, why is this guy just moving all around the map? And then he'd make a move like this, and you're like, well, never mind, it's not a hacker after all. It's gonna get dropped in the main here with a massive amount of units. Can't really afford to recall because his timing will be gone. More units going towards the other side. I mean, this base trade is practically lost already right now for the Protoss player. There's nothing here at home in the main. Depots can still be up though, and by a little bit of time, second depot does get the raise out as well. As probes make their way across the map. This is a decent probe train. I think it's about 20 or so. 20, yeah. 20, 22. Actually, exactly 20, I believe. Main went down, third went down, Natural's about to fall. Main has been breached on the other side, and with the Phoenix is still alive, that's actually a pretty big deal. SCVs managed to escape as well, but more probes have escaped than SCVs have. Now, if these CCs actually all get taken out, there's still a lot of cash available though, and the production is going to make it out alive as well, I think, which is a pretty big deal. That is a pretty big deal. In a one-on-one fight though, 2 Colossus, 3 sentries, 6 Phoenixes can probably take on this army, right? Am I crazy? I don't know if I'm crazy. I don't know if I am crazy. Probes are all attacking over here as well, as these Phoenixes are trying to take out this command center, but it's going to survive, and that is an absolutely massive deal. That command center should have been the main priority here. With that surviving, there's already a base, there is already production, and there's still a bunch of cash in the bank as well. And yes, it didn't look so great worker-wise, but he's only down by 10. So it's also not the end of the world, and herO just needs to spend so much money in added-on production still. I do believe that Oliveira is winning this as long as he's staying alive. Now, that is of course a different matter. The staying alive matters, and mine does connect over here. Oliveira once again setting up for a base trade. This time, am I okay with this? I'm not so sure if I am, actually. I'm not so sure if I am. There's one more. Okay, he's gonna sacrifice a Zealot for that mine. This is an absolutely wild game. All the probes are being taken out. And with the money in the bank still here for... Oh, this is not the last building, but it's one of the last ones. He decides to not kill it. Clears the Colossus immediately. And the recall is going to be the nail in the coffin here for herO. What a wild game this has been, as Oliveira takes game number 1 in this best of 5 series. Impressive little game there out of Oliveira, as he takes royal blood. Now we're here on battle. No shot. Is herO not gonna scout again? That would be kind of wild, honestly. I know that both herO and Classic really enjoy not scouting in this particular matchup. And they do a lot of the no scouting. I mean, it feels absolutely fantastic to not scout against Terran, don't get me wrong. You have so much more money and your build just flows in such a smooth way. But I just not scouting every single time against someone that is as perceptive as Oliveira usually is. I think that's kind of risky. But maybe doing it twice in a row is not half bad. Gateway goes down here. It's going to finish up 123, 124. It's a fairly decent time over here. As a Zealot starts. Oh. Wow. He cancelled it. Okay. Fake Zealot start in case it's like an eBay block or something of the sort. Don't completely mind that. On the other hand, we have double gas opener, marine into factory, and he's going back here into gas as well. This is starting to feel a little bit like some type of, I don't want to say Thor all in, but it's going to be a 1-1-1 type of attack. Now, we've seen this particular build order quite a bit with Thor all in follow-ups. But I'm not sure if Oliveira is aware of how good the Thor all in truly is. Does he know that the Thor is the greatest unit that exists? I don't know if he does. I don't know if he does, actually. We'll have to wait and see. Okay, starts with a tech lab, so it's not going to be a mine drop with armory initially, which is what we usually expect with a Thor drop. The straight tech lab here makes me believe that we're seeing a very quick tank. The reactor makes me believe that we're going to be seeing a crap ton of marines here being pumped out at a high pace. And then the question is what do you get from the starport? Most likely opening up with a medevac is a good plan. Can always follow that up with a liberator as well, of course. But we really have to wait and see. I'm just curious how he's going to be playing this out. I've never seen this particular build. So it's just going to be a 1-1-1-1 base all in, basically. Two adepts too afraid to move out. That's the funny thing, right? Haven't seen anything yet. If they move out now, Hellions might be able to run by and boom, you lose all your workers. Would be very painful. Robotics facility does get thrown down here right now. I don't really mind the opener that herO has, though. He has a battery, has one gateway, is adding in a battery, is adding in a robotics facility, although that isn't going to end up finishing. The first 5 seconds of this push are going to be extremely important. The tank forgot to move across the map. What is this? Viking as a follow-up. As well as the second tank is now out. Here comes the 7 marine push. This feels fairly bad, honestly. Just showing that here immediately. Does get the heal up. As the Viking finishes up. Marine count is up to 11. There are 4 SCVs here. This battery is going to make the difference. This battery, it needs to survive. If this battery dies, the game ends, most likely. This tank is in range of that battery. I think it is, at least. Maybe barely isn't. Oh, just barely out of range. That is a decently sized error, but doesn't matter so much. They're gonna siege up once more. Blink is about to finish up. Target fires on the Stalkers here. One Stalker will fall. This pylon. Yep, GG gets called. Oliveira. 2 games in and secures himself the second game already. Now is at match point. This is going to be played on Neo Humanity. As I'm just a little bit surprised, honestly. That is all I can really say. herO did not scout at all last game. Not with an adept, not with a pro. Played blind, got punished. Right? That's simply what happened. He played blind, got punished. Now he's going in for a scout. I do like that for starters here. As he actually went for, wow, an interesting positioning on the gateway as well as the cyber core. So usually you'll see both of these positions swapped, as this is a single building wall. Now you'd rather have your gateway closer to the ramp and closer to your main mineral line, as it provides you with, you know, a slightly quicker unit that can possibly defend a Reaper, whether that's a proxy Reaper or just a regular Reaper. Also, if you want to rush across the map, it's nicer for the unit to be close to the ramp, but herO decided to wall with the gateway. I don't quite know what the purpose of that is. I guess it keeps the cyber core safe, but I'm not sure how useful that is. Sometimes you see like a 1-1-1 type of attack trying to target down the cyber core, but it's really, really uncommon. And I also just don't think it's very good. I don't think it does that much. So, yeah, we'll see. Reaper scouts around. Oliveira did not scout himself this time around, as the factory is on the way. Reaper Marine into factory. A very standard build order. A standard build order that a lot of Terrans have been playing as well as of late. As Terrans feel very comfortable in the first 5-6 minutes of the game in Terran versus Protoss at the moment. I feel like in the past they really felt afraid of what Protoss could throw at them, but these days it does seem like most Terran players are fairly comfortable in this in these situations. They know what to do, and they know how to get ahead, and they often do end up getting ahead. So we're now going into a 2-racks after factory. This is kind of reminiscent of the Intel Extreme Master style that I was talking about earlier. Kind of that barracks into factory into a second barracks, and then often with a third barracks being added in. Now there's a couple of things you can do from here. Starting with perhaps adding a third barracks if you really want to. So I do think, no, it's going to be a depot instead. Okay, so it's just 2 barracks. It's gonna get stim most likely. But I'm a little bit confused as to what this is, to be honest. You have herO coming out with a quick blink. 3 gateways, excuse me. As well as a proxy pylon. That's going to be spotted here by the Reaper. So this is a confusing build order for me. It really is. Maybe this is an anti-3 or anti-4 gate blink build that I'm just simply not aware of. Stim starts relatively quickly. It's the Cyclone on the map. It's not really fighting that pylon yet. Could definitely take out one of these Adepts. I'm surprised to not see the Cyclone kind of go for it. Oh, Adepts are going to finish up. What a huge blunder here out of herO. Uncharacteristic mistake. Loses 2 Adepts. Will lose this pylon. I don't quite understand what the end goal here is for this particular build order. But yeah, no, I just have no clue. Pylon is going to be rebuilt here. Good lord. So it is going to be a 3-gate pressure, I guess. However, there's no prism. It's going to be with a simple observer moving across the map. I am not feeling this. I am super not feeling this. Prism is late. 2 Adepts have gone down. Reaper's getting the full scout as well. This guy's getting all the information. And like herO left the briefcase in the train, and oh yeah, the opposing guy opened the briefcase, saw all the plans, put the briefcase back. And here you go, buddy. You can have your crappy plans back. What's up with that? Templar Archives as a follow-up, so 2-base storm. These Stalkers need to freaking do something, but Stim has finished already. There's a tank in every single base. What is herO going to achieve here? Nothing. That's the actual answer. He's not going to achieve anything. He's not even going to kill a single SCV with this significant investment. This is really a significant investment. Don't ever forget about that. His third base completely delayed. Infrastructure delayed. Ended up building 9 Stalkers, which did nothing. That's a lot of money into units that achieve nothing for you this early into the game. Oh, he's going to get 1 SCV here with the 4 Stalkers. Good blink. As he will take out a couple of these workers. 3 workers do end up going down. But he still... Oh, no, you can't be serious. Scan? Scans, but recall is available. Oh, wow, that was really close. If herO's just a little bit slower there, he's in trouble. Because without a prism, good luck putting Templar in a prism. You can't. The Templar on the ground are pretty freaking useless. That's also something you definitely do not want. Marine count is high here. And the only way that I can see herO making a comeback into this game, honestly, is... well, storming absolutely everything. Specifically the Marines. He's going out with a storm drop in towards his opponent's natural, which is, I guess, somewhat interesting. But I mean... like, unless Oliveira completely falls asleep at the wheel here, I have a difficult time seeing this work. Let's take a look at the unit comps. So there are 11 Zealots, actually. 1 Immortal, 9 Stalkers. Yeah, it's not bad, maybe. It's not bad at all. I kind of like this, even. Is the storm available? It's not. Prism coming in from the back, though, with a flanking motion. Pre-splits are okay-ish. Wasn't really pre-splits, more in the minute micro. In the moment micro. Mines are trying to burrow. Is there a blink available? There's not, as Immortals and Stalkers are taking a freaking beating over here. This fight looked okay for herO, but let's not forget the actual circumstance here. herO is all in. He has no fort, he has no third base, he has less workers than his opponent. All that Oliveira needs to do is stay home and not die. As long as he doesn't die, he wins. Absolutely. Third base is done. Ghost Academy is on the way. Barracks are being added in. This is a lot of investment into structures that are going to pay off in about 50, 60 seconds from now. But he needs things now. Raise these depots, my friend. As the double Immortal drop in towards the main base is going in for a snipe on that reactor. Marauders are being targeted down here. Marines falling as well at a pretty high pace. There are a bunch of mines in position. Zealots are going to rush in. 1, 2, 3. Perhaps number 4 on the Prism. The Prism has now been taken out. No more reinforcements. Except coming from that pylon. 5 more Stalkers are on the way. Storms have ran out largely by now. 2 Ghosts are popping soon as well. I think a Zealot warp in would do absolute wonders here right now for herO. Vikings need to land as more and more Stalkers are coming in and are helping out. Perhaps a blink away. Not necessary as the mine gets targeted down. EMP is going to connect with the Observer and an Immortal, but with the Immortal that already had no shields. Oliveira is chasing into this army, which is a very surprising move. Yes, he's down in workers, but he's still up in everything else. He just needs to stabilize. You don't stabilize chasing your opponent across the map. You stabilize chilling at home, trying to take out your opponent's units as they rush in. Salad here is going to sacrifice his life for ire into that mine, as herO has taken a significant supply lead right now of about 23. Is still down an upgrade, is still down in tech, is going to perhaps morph in another Archon. Could try and wait maybe for these storms to arrive as Stalkers continue poking in, forcing out stims, using up all the medevac energy and picking off a unit every now and again. Here comes a mine that gets taken out. 1 more Marine, 2 more Marines, 3 more Marines. Okay, here come all the Zealots as well. Stim is used, but all of these Marines, all of these Marauders can't be healed anymore. So the medevacs are now completely empty. SCVs get pulled off the line once more. The SCV numbers are in such a state right now that I don't even think that Oliveira can really go into a macro game from here. He needs to try and break this, but he can. GG gets called, and herO takes game number 3, putting himself on the board 2-1, still in favor of the Terran, but herO's ready for the comeback. All right, we entered Dragon Skills, the 3-gate Blink Valhalla, as we'll have to wait and see if that's going to be herO's build of choice again. I'm really kind of surprised that Oliveira did not end up winning that last game. There's a couple of things that really went wrong there. There were many points at which he could have turned that frown upside down and kind of decided to win the game. Initially, I didn't even really pay any attention to it, but initially just starting with that first move out, that first push. If he gets information with a Marine or with just anything about the fact that there is no third base, he can just go back home. And the game legitimately, I think, just ends there. Like, I don't think there's anything that herO can do in that case. I feel like if Oliveira has a solid setup, home position, doesn't really get surprised out in the middle of the map, he's probably fine. Then afterwards, I feel like he chases a bit too far against his opponent. Maybe a little bit more SimCity would have helped as well. Like, after that first push, is trying to get some more bunkers or throwing down some E-base. I feel like the cash was there. But it's so easy to say, of course, when you're the observer. When you're seeing everything, you have full information. It is possible in StarCraft 2 that you do make some mistakes. This Reaper is going to go in. This was off of a no scout, by the way, once again. That makes sense, because this is going to be a double gas opener. Into factory, into starboard, high ground, CC. Battery on the low ground. I like this move. It's a move that I really do appreciate. Did herO not scout again, by the way? No, he did scout, of course. We did see that scout. Never mind. then I'm surprised that he opens up with a Twilight Council. For the past months, really the past 2-3 months, every single game that a Terran opened up with double gas, herO responded with a Stargate first. Now it seems like that era has officially ended here today. So that is pretty significant, that's big. Because that means that he now has some counter pressure potential, but it also freaking sucks against mind drops. And somehow, some way, Oliveira sniffed it out, realized what's going on, and has the guts, the cojones, to go for a mind drop. Not a lot of people would do that against someone that's known to play Phoenixes. Mind drops genuinely suck against Phoenix, but mind drop is freaking good against Blink. We're gonna see 4 Marines, 2 mines, I guess? Is that the... 4 Marines, 1 mine? 4 Marines, 2 mines. What was this guy? Wait. This guy's just going for a straw or what? Why was this the world's slowest pickup as well? Do not like how this ended up. Poof! Oh, baby! There you go. That was a nice little trick. That's a free mine you just made. Poof! Adios. Now, warping it should be done, and the first warping should honestly already be finished out of these 2 gates, since we have 3 stalkers up. Oh, I love this move! I freaking love this. Uses the mine to control the ramp and moves towards the natural. Now decides to go back up as the mine shot down that adept. What is there in the main base? The answer is not very much. So, Marines are taking out probes at a pretty high pace. I think that is just the goal as well, often, to just take out 4 or 5 workers and then just piss off. Try to keep your medevac alive. Immediately turns around though. Observer did not quite see that. This is once again a 3 gate with double gas. So I think we're opting for something similar here. Uh-oh. I think this medevac might just be dead. 1, 2, boof, blink. Tick. The final shot, just barely enough stalkers. Medevac goes down. Threat is removed from this game, as a Templar Archive should land soon, I think. Blink has finished up. I mean, this is Templar Archives territory. 100%. I'm not doubting my call here. Not one bit. Maybe just wants to warp in a couple more stalkers first. Doesn't really have the cash for that. Also does not have the supply space. Can definitely see that the percentage supply cap here for herO is slightly higher than some other Protoss players. As we have this... What is this guy looking at? No forward gas yet, guys. I repeat, no forward gas. Yeah, all right. Oh, big blink in here. Auto turret gets used. Raven gets destroyed. Look how much gas we have in the bank. Why are we not using this? Okay, there comes the Templar Archives. It took a while though, didn't it? Still, it's coming down, and I think Storm will be in time for Stim and Combat Shield before that finishes. So, before the first push arrives, I think we'll have Storm available. What's the tank count right now? It's 2. Ooh, massive supply block as well here for Oliveira. Yeah, classic high percentage supply cap for a Terran player. Not surprised by that. One of the most important stats that we usually look at when, judging a player's skill. Whoop. Take out a Marine. Take out the next Marine. Take out the next Marine again. Poof. 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 Pew. That's quite a few Marines that went down there, isn't it? Yeah, I think he kited 4 or 5 Marines to death over there. Impressive stuff. Same follow-up. I like this follow-up, by the way. Can I just say that? Like, the reason why I like this follow-up is because very often, as a Protoss, you start with relatively high numbers of Stalkers. But then there is this kind of this hole in your production where you're getting your 3rd base, lots of workers. herO says, hey, I want to fill that hole with more crap, so that when my opponent decides to move out, I freaking crush him with a Templar Archives, with that Storm, with the charge, with 1 or 2 Immortals in there as well. And it's working like a charm. Now, what I do miss is a pylon over here. Now, you might ask, why a pylon? Isn't there a prison? Correct, there is a prison, but... prism, not a prison. If it was a prison, that would be fairly useless here for the Protoss. Put in the Marines in the prison. Then Storm. That would actually be pretty good as well. Where was I going with this? Ah, pylon. Right, so you can warp in while you're flying around with your stupid prism with the Templar in it. Here we go on the high ground from the balcony. Throwing down on the plebs. Make it rain, baby. Make it storm. As for the 2nd time in a row, this very wild setup that herO is going for just works out. Storm lands on top of these Marauders as GG gets called. And herO here ties it up and will be heading into match point of this grand finals. Final game of this series. Unless it's a draw, of course. Then we'll get a 6th game. It's very unlikely. We hardly see any draws. Now, I have 2 questions. First question is, will Oliveira do something wild? And the second question... Oh, never mind. I should... All right. What you doing, buddy? Oh, no. I understand this so well. I really do. I completely get this. You know that? I completely get this move. So, I was going to scold herO for never scouting in this series. He scouted once out of 4 games so far. He's going for a scout right now. And then I was going to say, I'm wondering if Oliveira is going to use this, if he's going to respond with something, because he hasn't been scouted for majority of the game so far. But it's actually herO who also realizes that the Terran player hasn't been scouting at all and says, hey, if you haven't been scouting, how are you going to deal with a quick Zealot that will walk nice and quick across the map? And honestly, I don't actually think there's a great answer to this, especially because that Zealot is going to be followed up by either an Adept or a Stalker. Gateway finishes here, 124. Cybercore goes down immediately. Zealot starts straight away after. This is such a cool little build order. It's basically a proxy gate, but you don't need to build a second pylon or a first pylon at home and then proxy with the second pylon. No, your tech is still at the exact same time as well. Your eco is relatively similar, honestly. So this is one of the build orders that I really appreciate, is adding in a second Zealot. Really wants to hammer down this command center. I think the reason why this second Zealot got started here, by the way, is because herO scouted that it is a CC on the low ground. I think if he plays against 2 gas, you'll probably skip the second Zealot, as there's really no purpose. Zealot. Yeah, are they going to be in time? How long was the block here on the natural? It went down 27, let me check, 30 seconds ago. So that would be 45. Okay, that's a 6-second delay on the CC. That should actually be enough. Oliveira did not quite catch these 2 Zealots that are now marching towards Terran territory. Adept shading forward as well. There's going to be about a 20-second window here. In which no, what? They're walking up? You can be serious. Okay, it's going towards the low ground with 1 Zealot, high ground with a second Zealot, takes out 2 SCVs immediately as he starts fighting the depots. Are depots the most important thing here, though? Couldn't you say that perhaps this CC is slightly more important? Couldn't you say that? I think you could. I am really surprised by this. I'm shocked. Wait, CC got cancelled? Huh. I didn't realize this was a common response out of Terran. It seems like cancelling that CC was a mistake, no? If your opponent is hitting your depots, eventually you're going to get your marine production. Eventually you're going to get your factory production. And it's just a single gateway, which you know. So you're going to be fighting 2 Zealots, 3 Adepts maybe. Once you have 6 Marines, a Reaper, and 2 Hellions, I think you can just fight that. I'm fairly confused here as to why the CC got cancelled. I am fairly confused as to why that is the case. I think that could have been salvaged for sure, but it didn't. And that's the reality we're living in right now. Here comes the shade forward. Marines are being targeted down. Reaper will not be microed back either. Not the cleanest control here, honestly, out of Oliveira. After that, quite frankly, terrible shading out of herO. herO is going to... Oh my god. Gets into the main base. That is fairly painful. As the SCVs do get pulled back. Can't afford to lose any. That means that the Banshee also gets scouted. I mean, this 1-1-1 push really has fairly little potential. The follow-up for herO here is good. Does not have a battery, though, on the low ground. I'm loving this. What a prism! Okay, no, I'm not loving this. Are you mad? Are you actually mad? You're being all-in. You know your opponent does not have a natural. You just scouted that with your freaking Adept. And your plan here is to get a prism over an Immortal. Mate, you can't be serious. There's no battery here either. Maybe herO knows something about the prison that I don't, that Stalkers attack faster in its power field, but I really do believe that an Immortal would have been much superior here defensively. He's going to survive for now, though. Tank had not quite arrived yet, as 3 more Marines will end up falling in the retreat. Yep. And now the tank starts attacking. I mean, this is a hopeless, absolutely a hopeless campaign here for Oliveira, who after 2 quick games was up 2-0 and now is at the risk of being reverse sweeped. This just doesn't look so great. SCV's being pulled off the line, observer scouts everything. Batteries need to be thrown down, well, in large numbers, you would say. Cancel this gas as well. I mean, do we really need that? The answer is no, we definitely do not really need that. Twilight Council coming up. I do like that just for that charge upgrade. That is a good call. Sometimes what can happen is Terran just stays on 1-1-1 forever, and once the tank count gets too big, Stalkers and Zealots that don't have any upgrades really do suck. Same against Banshees. Like, they're just not so great against an army like this. So eventually you do need charge. But until that moment where there's like 5-6 tanks, this is going to be just fine. This is a brilliant position to fight for herO as well. Super battery in the back, providing a lot of healing over here. Oliveira does break through the first line of defensive Stalkers. Banshees just with such high damage output here. There are 3 gateways. There's the second Immortal that has just popped out. And there's just a single tank. And this is going to be it for the Banshees as well, of course. Like, there's not going to be any more Banshees. There's simply no cash for that. Marines are flooding across the map. It's the double prism. Could have perhaps gone for a drive-by. Coming in from the side. Battery still providing a lot of healing as 3 more Zealots get warped in. 2 more gates are being added in. Twilight actually did get cancelled during that last fight. As now with the Zealots moving forward, Immortals targeting down those tanks. And the batteries providing some backup for the Stalkers. I do believe that it's going to end there. herO with the reverse sweep in the grand final of the Korean StarCraft League number 13. One of my favorite tournaments. And as it ends, my neighbor starts drilling again. So life is good here as well. Thank you all so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed this. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. And I'll see all of you next time for a new video. Adios, my friends. And good night.